So let's talk about two teams that are not going to be in the playoffs, and that is the Royals and the Tigers. Now, the Royals play better than the Tigers. The Royals are better than the Tigers at this point. Because whatever it is, for whatever reason, as I said in the preview, if you were with me live last Thursday, this team is just pesky. And they proved how pesky they can be in this series. Game 1, the Tigers won 5-4. Drew Hutchinson pitched fantastic. And it was more difficult than it needed to be, first of all, but the Tigers had to earn that win. Game 2, Michael Pineda starts. Gets blown up and ultimately DFA'd. Thank everything that he was DFA'd, because he has not been good since he came back. And now some younger starters are going to get the opportunity to see, kind of finish out the season as they should have. I mean, this was a wasted opportunity. Letting Pineda start was a bad move by the organization. We've seen he blew up in Cleveland. He blew up in his next start off the IL, or went on the IL, and then now he comes back and he's blown up again. AJ said it's tough to tell somebody of his caliber and his career that they don't need his services anymore, which I understand that aspect of it. But he's not going to be competing in this window. He's not going to be on this team when the Tigers, whenever they have the opportunity to compete again, he's not going to be on the team. So yeah, there's no reason to keep him around. It's not like you owe him all this money next year, a la Jonathan Scope, right? So you have to move on from guys like this to give guys opportunities to get their feet wet. Ryan Kreidler's come up, got his feet wet, doing a pretty darn good job, and doesn't look too terrible. Drawing walks, sacrificed flies, good at bats, struck out a couple of times, which I told you it was going to happen. But they're getting their feet wet, and that's big. With Miguel Cabrera, with Miguel Cabrera going on the IL with the bicep strain, Josh Lester is going to get an opportunity to make his debut. The 28-year-old minor leaguer who's been in the system since, I think, 2013 is going to get the opportunity. And he's probably not around when the team wants to compete. Maybe he's a bench piece. Who knows? Big power guy, high strikeout guy. But he's going to get the opportunity. That's the thing, right? We said improvements and opportunity. That is the focus. Tigers got blown out in Game 2, 12-2. Pineda was terrible. They had 2 extra base hits, both by Tucker Barnhart, who finally got off the schneid and hit his first home run of the season. So many games into the season. But, it is what it is. I looked at some tweets, and I think it was, again, Cody Straverhagen from The Athletic that said if Tucker had played in Great America Ballpark, he'd have 4 home runs already this year. But alas, he plays in Comerica and now has 1. Game 3, Matt Manning went short again, 4 innings, 3 walks, 2 runs given up. The bullpen held it down until Gregory Soto couldn't find the strike zone and was getting hit because he can only throw hard. His secondary pitches he cannot control, and it's creating an issue for him and potentially the reason why nobody wanted to trade for him at the deadline. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that Gregory Soto has trouble throwing strikes. Sure, the ERA might be low. Great, ERA is a starting point. But he has control issues. It doesn't mean anything if you can throw 1,000,000 miles per hour, but you cannot locate. And that cost the Tigers the game. What also cost the Tigers the game? 10 strikeouts from the offense again. Not to mention that the night before they had let Heasley off the hook and go 7 innings, a career high, because for whatever reason, when pitchers who are struggling come to Detroit, we make them look like Cy Young. It's crazy to me. A guy that has almost a 6 FIP had never been through 7 innings, and we, the Tigers, cannot get in to the worst bullpen in the MLB because we're letting him dominate us. It's insane. It's insanity is what it is. But alas, what it is another series loss to the Royals, who own the Tigers. Tigers are the worst team in the Central. 2022 is a completely wasted season.